the golf course should be full cost recovery. That's all we want, for it to pay for itself.
Palm Coast Mayor Mike Norris explaining how the city-owned Palm Harbor Golf Course should operate.
During the recent Palm Coast City Council workshop, a presentation made by the Director of Parks and Recreation showed the course has cost the city an average of $176,000 a year the past 5 years. While the cost is a major concern, Mayor Norris says the problem can be worked out.
I'm not in favor of selling a golf course at all, and I'll fight tooth and nail to keep it. But some of the observations I got from the public when they came to see me, one, is overstaffing. They seem to think that it's overstaffed out at the golf course. Two, the price point.
Councilman Ty Miller is also leaning in the same direction.
At least from my perspective, there's no intent for it to ever be anything other than a golf course. In terms of it being an amenity, I think the difference here is that golf is something that we have multiple other private entities providing that same service, whereas some of the other things that the city offers are things that only the city can offer. I'd be in favor at a minimum of this golf course being full cost recovery.
And Vice Mayor Teresa Pontieri also has a point to make.
My fear is that eventually this golf course, and this would be just the first step, because money talks. So if a developer, if that's some type of opportunity to perhaps try to develop this down the road, a future council could maybe work to approve that.
The city of Palm Coast took over operations management in 2017 alongside Troon, which now maintains the course. Upcoming maintenance costs in the capital improvement plan include $150,000 for irrigation pump station repairs, $20,000 for gravel parking lot repairs, and $500,000 for greens renovations. For Flagler's Local Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Thursday, January 30th.
We get reports of people that have been scammed using AI and other technological means, and then we try to do our best to hold people accountable and potentially recoup any funds that may have been lost and then try to return that to the victim.
We're learning more about how the Flagler County Sheriff's Office is protecting citizens from criminals who use AI and other technology.
Sergeant Austin Rodriguez leads the Sheriff's Office Cyber Crimes and Criminal Intelligence Unit.
Sheriff Staley started this Cyber Crimes Unit in October of 2024. And he met with me and discussed what his vision was for the future and about the concerns about where we're going with technology and all these new crimes that are popping up. And so he really saw where we're heading and wanted to get ahead of it. So he met with me. We started a new unit, and then myself and a detective are pretty much responsible for trying to get ahead of these things, learn new technologies that are emerging, go to trainings and see what we could do. But the biggest thing is educating the public.
Rodriguez says the unit's been busy.
One of the things that we're seeing a lot now, there's been a rash of this in 2025, is people calling citizens and pretending to be members of the Flagler County Sheriff's Office. So what they'll do is they'll just research a supervisor, somebody in the Flagler County Sheriff's Office, a real live person. They'll call a number that they find through public record in some capacity, and then they'll impersonate a supervisor at the Flagler County Sheriff's Office.
If you get one of these calls, Rodriguez says you should hang up and call the Sheriff's Office yourself. I'm Daryl Moody reporting.
This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. In other news, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office has arrested 2 students at FPC High School, a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old, for sending threats toward each other in a text group chat. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
A disagreement occurred, and then these 2 students started threatening each other with bodily harm, blowing up homes, etc. This resulted in both of them being arrested. Students, I remind you again that if you make a threat, you will be arrested. Florida law is very clear. Making threats of violence during any type of incident is a violation of Florida law. Parents, I encourage you to be the sheriff in your home and teach your kids that in disputes, making threats to hurt someone, shoot someone, or blow something up is not an appropriate way to resolve and de-escalate situations. The Sheriff's Office has a zero tolerance for these kind of threats, and will do everything we can to ensure that our community and schools are safe.
And finally, don't miss the final basketball game on the WNZF Sports Network of the season tonight at 7 o'clock as Matanzas High School takes on Mandarin High School. Don't miss any of the action on the Flagler Radio YouTube channel. And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.